Man, fighting games are hard. The goal of this video is to become a somewhat competent player at Street Fighter V by the end of a month. My username probably led you to believe that I'm a pro at these games, but unfortunately, I'm just a phony. My personal experience with fighting games up till now is I'll pick up the game, play the story mode, learn to perform one or two special moves with the coolest looking characters, be too afraid to hit the online button, and never play the game again. But hey, it's never too late to learn, and this video sets out to change that. So now that we've established my experience, or lack thereof, I think it's time that we dive into Street Fighter V. Week 1. Now you might think a logical first step would be to open the game. Oh no, you're gonna need to make some crucial decisions before we get that far. Such as, are you going to play the game on a gamepad or an arcade stick? Like most of you, I already owned a controller, it just seemed like the obvious choice. But I thought back over the times I'd played games casually, my execution was bad, my timing was poor, and my enjoyment was pretty low. So I made a decision. After thinking it over, I realized that the most I'd ever enjoyed playing Street Fighter was on an arcade cabinet. I personally believe it's important to make learning a new skill as fun as possible for yourself, so this was the right choice for me. There's no advantage to one controller over the other, and people have won world tournaments and Capcom Cups using both. So make the choice that suits you best and is going to improve your enjoyment of the game overall. With that out of the way, the next decision you're going to have to make is, do you prefer your anime dubbed or subbed? If you're a fellow man of culture, much like myself, I highly recommend Infiltration's Guide to Street Fighter V over on Core A Gaming. He goes over all of the basics you'll need, from the differences between light, medium and heavy attacks, and shows off how to execute certain special moves. Otherwise, I'd recommend you head over to Cross Counter TV, where Gootecks has your back. Cross Counter is a channel loaded with fighting game tutorials, fun and information, and you may even find that Gootecks looks a little bit familiar to some of you Twitch fans out there. Whichever series you choose to watch, you'll notice that they have one major recommendation in common, and that's that you start the game by learning Ryu. It just makes sense. He's the main character of the franchise, so it's safe to assume they would have done all the initial balancing around his playstyle, and also he has a move for everything. Don't feel like fighting the enemy close range? Zone them out and tell them the middle of the screen is yours. Sick of players lurking over your unconscious body? Knock them the f*** out. Need solid, easy combos and safe close range attacks? Are you even surprised at this point? So a very solid choice for learning the fundamentals of the game. And that's exactly what week 1 is all about. Fundamentals. And with all of that in mind, we're finally ready to open the game. There were 3 main things I needed to get to grips with during this week. I needed to get used to how the game worked, how Ryu the character worked within the game, and also how to play the game on an arcade stick. I decided that the best way to get my hands and brain working together was to try and beat Ryu's challenge mode. 10 combos with increasing difficulty and execution timing. If grinding this out for hours wasn't going to teach me how to throw a Hadouken on this thing, well, nothing would. And boy was it a grind. And that was it. Now is it the flashiest looking combo? No, not even close. Is it Ryu's highest damage combo? Nope, not by a long shot. But if there's one thing you learn very quickly once you take a fighting game online, it's that you're looking for the most functional combos that you can pull off consistently. It took me playing a few hours every day for 6 days to finish all 10 of Ryu's challenge combos for the first time. Seeing success pop up on screen when you finally nail combo 10 is the best feeling. Am I gonna start using that combo online? No. It's just not practical for me to input these combos consistently with the timing allowed online and the added pressure. Every time I mess this combo up, and I will, the opponent is going to have a frame advantage on me, meaning that they can hit me with an attack that I won't have a chance to block, they can convert that into a big combo, I'm going to take a lot of damage, and I'm going to end up losing games that I probably would have won if I'd thrown out combo 1. But of course this isn't me saying that combo 1 is Ryu's optimal combo, because they could still counter and punish that combo indeed. There is a lot of terminology and things to think about in fighting games, it can get super overwhelming, and that is why on top of doing these challenges, I've been grinding out training mode and I've been playing arcade on hard. No more medium for me, those days are far in the past. I'm gonna lose to Sagat 14 times in a row if I have to, but every time I beat him on hard, he gets a little bit easier the next time. And that is how we see progress.
You win!
We've made it through week 1, which is like the equivalent of graduating from fighting game high school. But now, you're on to fighting game university, and that means it's time to get out there, meet new people, try new things, and get a little bit experimental. And of course, what I mean by that is it's time to branch out from Ryu. Step 1 for me was to take a look through the World Warriors and see what costumes everyone has. I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but if a book looks this good, I'm pretty sure you can be forgiven. After this, I drew up a quick tier list of how interested I was in trying out each of the individual characters in the game, based on appearance, playstyle, inputs, and other bits of information I'd picked up during my time playing. And then, as you would have guessed, I jumped back into challenge mode to test the limits of my newly developed muscle memory and push myself further by playing every character I could. Roll the montage. Whew, that was tiring. After some extremely flashy combos had been pulled off, I'd reevaluated my old tier list from earlier on and found that maybe I was actually wrong to suggest judging a book by its cover. By this point, I'd made my way through most of the roster and had a better idea of whose playstyles worked for me personally. And as a surprise to myself, I ended up landing on a character I didn't think I'd play. Now, there are two main ways characters control in Street Fighter. You have the Shoto characters, such as Ryu and Ken, whose moves are done by inputting quarter circles followed by a button, such as the Hadouken, or the Shoryuken, or even the Tatsumaki Senpouken. I think that was said right? I don't know. Hey, my pronunciation was closer than the movie, alright? And the other type of character is known as a charge character, where moves are done by holding the stick in one direction for a few seconds to charge energy before pushing it into the other direction and hitting a button to execute the move. I think it's important to watch highly skilled players at a game when trying to learn it on this level. I'd been very into watching Smug on YouTube, and he was pretty well known for maining Balrog, who looked like a super fun character. But at this stage, I hadn't built up the muscle memory to execute these moves, and I wasn't used to the playstyle. So I found myself gravitating towards a different type of character entirely, in the form of Ed. Now, Ed is essentially the love child of Bison and Balrog. Not in a lore sense, but in a gameplay sense. But he controls completely different to every other character on the roster, and instead you trigger his special moves by pressing two buttons at the same time. I found Ed's playstyle interesting, and found him extremely easy to pick up, take online, and kind of excel with. The lack of extremely complex inputs means that Ed is a good character to nail consistency with. Taking the difficult left-hand inputs out of the equation allows you as the player to focus more on the match and more on execution without a worry of messing up an input and being punished for it. And if you are still getting punished, he's a character that becomes the gateway into frame data. I won't dive too heavily into this here, but basically while playing Ed, you're going to become less reliant on heavy attacks and more reliant on his light attacks, as they hit faster, allow you to pull off some good combos on punishes yourself, and make you a more well-rounded player of the game. Arguably, if I'd spent this entire month just playing Ryu, I probably would have ended up with a much higher rank by the end of the video, but I definitely wouldn't have enjoyed my playtime or developed as much consistency as I did. But not having character monogamy can affect your skills, so you're gonna need a training regimen to keep your skills sharp. Let's go!
このハードなトレーニングメニューを続けられるかどうか。
They don't call it esports for nothing, and just like a pro athlete, to perform at peak condition every game, you're gonna need a good warm-up that you run through every time you launch the game. Sound like too much work? Well, how are you gonna feel when you pull a hamstring in the middle of a match and you get bodied by a Honda? Believe me, it happens. But don't worry, Senpai Hadouken's got your back. This regimen was largely inspired by Gutex, but what I like to do when I launch the game is 100 Hadoukens, no misses, on each side of the screen. Next up, 50 dashes back and forth. Imagine you're doing laps in a pool, this is the Street Fighter equivalent. Next up, we're going to hit 50 supers. You don't have to sit through the animation, feel free to reset as soon as you see it trigger. This is going to make sure you're comfortable executing a Hadouken input and a super input separately, as both involve quarter circles. From there, I recommend mixing it up per character, so if you're struggling to pull off Ryu's Shoryuken, throw in 50 of those inputs. Otherwise, I like to jump into Combo Challenge 1 and run through it. You don't have to finish every single challenge, but by simply undertaking this trial, you're committing these combos further and further to memory, and that gives you a better chance of pulling one out in an online setting. And apart from that, make sure you eat right, stay hydrated, and keep hitting those buttons. That's it for this week's training plan. On to week 3. That's right, we're officially an anime, we have our own tournament arc. Capcom just so happened to be hosting an open beta tournament that's open to every player right now, and I have signed right up. It's a good chance to test my skills, it's a good chance to push myself further and get data against players I'd otherwise never have a chance of playing, and also it makes for pretty good content, I'm not gonna lie. And in preparation for this tournament, I decided to part ways with Ed. Now, everything positive I thought about the character I definitely stand by. By taking the left hand out of the equation, you can become a better player quicker. But only relying on one hand can become a hurdle very quickly when you try and learn another character. And my goal with this series is to become a well-rounded player with a number of characters, not just a competent player with one. I branched out by spending a day or two playing Chun-Li before moving on to Seth. And to me, Seth plays like a Ryu or a Ken, but with a few more options, with very familiar inputs, very flashy combos, making a very appealing character overall. The thing I didn't realize until I hit that sign up button was that Seth was banned from the tournament. Of course. And also, Kenzuki Beach was not a selectable stage, which was the stage I'd spent all my time training on. Way to kick a man when he's down, Capcom. You're allowed to change character mid-tournament, so I locked in Ed purely for the sake of picking someone. Also, I found out I was the lowest ranked person who'd applied for the tournament. Cool, I'd better work out a character. And I'll save you guys sitting through more montages, I ended up really clicking with Cody. This isn't a character I ever planned to play, he's not a character with major advantages over others, but something about his playstyle just worked for me. I took him online, I managed to rank straight up to Super Bronze, and I managed to stay there with relative ease. That's a sign of progress. And with that, the days began to pass, my training intensified, I began racking up the online wins, and before I knew it, tournament day was upon us. Okay, so I guess I'm in winners group F by the look of this. Oh, there I am. I'm against a Honda player, Faku, who is master rank. I might have played a silver player once before. That's similar, right? I guess I've changed my character from Ed to Cody in the downtime, so maybe the element of surprise will carry me through. Oh god, okay. And this is what it all boils down to. 3 weeks of hard-ish work, learning 2 whole characters to a Super Bronze level. Can I defeat a Master Rank player? This is a weird situation. Let's check out my opponent here. He's a level 58 Honda Master rank. He's 100 times cuter. I don't know if that's debatable, buddy. He's got a win rate of 55. Granted, that is at a substantially higher level than I'm at. In his last 100 games, he's won 72% of them. Cool, cool. Most of his characters are kind of averaging or above a 50% win rate, so this dude is going to annihilate me. The tournament has started. If your opponent is not here yet, please wait and hope they show up. In case they don't show up, you don't need to do anything, just wait around. Do not leave your device. You will get an automatic win when the timer goes to 0. I can rename this video, How to Beat a Master Player in a Month. I'm gonna win by the 2 sweetest words in the English language. Default! Move me up! Oh, no way. That's what you get, Faku PC. That's what you get for ducking me. When you step in the ring with the jabroni beating, water sipping, ass kicking master of the super bronze that is Hadouken, who wins by default. Now, who have I got? I got an ultra gold Vega. So no one in this bracket actually played around. The UK Street Fighter scene, ladies and gentlemen. After all of the players in that bracket, the final boiled down to 2 Super Bronze players. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, okay. Oh, he didn't go for the grab. Okay, now he went for the grab. Oh, damn it, okay. No, damn. Okay. Of course. Oh, that doesn't work in the corner. Okay. Oh, bad move on my part. Okay, he doesn't always go for grab, but he does the second time. Good that he's got habits. Oh, I should have planned for that. Okay, I gotta stop jumping in. Let's just go for the raw B skill. Or this. Nope, that was bad. He could have finished me there. Nope, shouldn't have jumped. Should have neutral, empty jumped. Yeah, go on. Go on, throw it out. Nope, okay. Come on, please. Please connect. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to pressure him with the V trigger in case he gets up into it.
You win.
And with that, we conquered a bracket in our first ever tournament, making it to the finals, beating the final... wait. It's first to 2. Okay. God damn it, past me! I believed. Okay, back in we go. Ah. My bad, I'm cracking. Come on, no! I stopped short. I jumped! Why did I jump? I nearly threw that so hard because of the pressure, man. Why am I jumping? Oh, okay. No. No! Wrong buttons. Please. Okay. Didn't chain it? Right. I'd have taken this a few times if I was better at that. Come on, man.
You lose.
I know. I slipped back into some old habits, like when I panicked I jumped, which is not good. He waited me out to make mistakes, and I made them. But you know what? At the end of the day, I technically beat a master and a gold rank player, so not a bad tournament, guys. Not a bad tournament. Tried so hard and got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, you don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind.
KO.
So even though I had a bit of a brief, unconventional tournament experience, I still came away learning a lot. I was able to watch it back, see my shortcomings, see where I was going wrong, and work out aspects of my gameplay that I need to fix going forwards if I'm ever going to see silver ranks and above.
Why am I jumping?
Even so, it's time once again to take on a new character. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be playing Cody. How could I not enjoy being an escaped convict outside of a child's house beating up a guy with a pipe? I mean, what's wrong with that picture? But while experimenting with other characters, Karine came calling. She was a character I had my eye on playing from the beginning, but initially she was too complicated for me to play. She has a thing called a Just Tenko move, which is basically a variation of one of her moves done with the exact same input, and having to be done even more precisely at a faster speed, and I just wasn't capable of that. Until now. This 4-week journey has taken me to the point where I can more or less pick up any character in the game, and within an afternoon of experimenting with them I can take them online and not D-rank. And for me, that's all I wanted from the beginning. A lot of players out there will base their satisfaction solely on seeing that rank icon increase and increase and increase and rack up win after win after win. But if you really want to get good at the game, you need to learn to love the L's. You're going to be losing a lot, and that's okay, because if you're not losing, you're not learning. And eventually there will come a point where you hit a wall. For me, the next step in this adventure is learning Karine, and now that I feel comfortable playing this style of character, I'm going to move on and tackle charge characters. These things have always been a nightmare to me, but I'm starting to make progress. And for players out there who've sat through this video and are about to take their first steps on their own journey, or feel like they've hit a wall or just need a new point of view, allow me to leave you with this final piece of advice. If you really connect with a character, find the top players. Analyze how they play, watch their streams, listen to their advice, go through their YouTube channels, and then, when you're done, find another top player who plays the same character. They might have more useful advice, they might have better constructed tutorials, or they may end up reinforcing everything the other top player said. To put this into better words, let's listen to the great philosopher SpongeBob SquarePants, who said it best when he said,
"Because when I need a job done, I get someone with a job to do that job!"
Truer words never spoken. Learning a fighting game is going to be a journey. It's going to be difficult at times, and it might take years to get to where you want to be. So above everything else, don't forget to have fun. Because if you're not having fun, what's the point? Whew, you made it to the end of the video. Good job, I hope you managed to learn something along the way and that it was helpful to you. If you want to see more content from yours truly, consider hitting that subscribe button below, you won't be disappointed. I've also included a playlist in the description of other people's videos that I either sampled for this video or that I watched during the process of creating it. Have a great day and best of luck on your fighting journey.